Well, for some of you who are really plugged into Facebook or other social media, going away from it might sound like a terrible idea, but that's exactly what our guest did. 40 Days Off Facebook, that's the name of the book, written by Ryan Beale. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Your story is really interesting because you were living in Chicago, living a fun life, all plugged into social media.
All plugged in, yes.
And you were kind of the guy who would wake up and check your Facebook.
I think myself and all my friends were doing the same thing. I mean, we got to a point, and at the time, that you really couldn't go out to a meal without somebody saying, sit still, let me take a picture and go spread it. I mean, there's always an interruption in a conversation to freeze a moment so you can share it with people that weren't in that moment.
I know. Why?
I think a lot of it is, one, it's a way to cope with our anxiety, and it's an unhealthy coping tool at times. Sometimes it's a good way to get away from looking and confronting ourselves or engaging in real communication with each other. And so it's a tool that we've learned to distract ourselves. I mean, Facebook's one thing, technology is a whole nother. I mean, we spend every 2.5 minutes, we look at technology and a screen, and we distract ourselves.
All right, you had a double dose of tragedy in your life. Your brother passed by suicide.
Yes.
And then you were going through a divorce, a painful divorce at the same time.
Yeah.
And so what makes you think, I need to get off Facebook?
Well, it was kind of almost like a bad joke. At the time, I had a life coach, a rabbi, and a martial arts buddy that I taught with, basically throw their hands up in the air, and they didn't have anything left to say.
Right.
There was so much going on, they just were frozen. And I did an inventory of my life, and I realized it's like, I know there's things I can't change. I can't change my divorce. I can't change my brother's death. I can't change my family's grieving. But I noticed that every day I started distracting myself, and I said, you know what? I have all these anniversaries coming up in 40 days. What if I just unplugged, reflected, journaled this experience, and I took all this anxiety and I put it into this book, and it's had an amazing effect on my life. I mean, it really pivoted my life.
What did it do?
In the beginning, which I thought was kind of funny, I actually started having almost like withdrawal. I saw something that was beautiful, and I was like, oh, I gotta share it.
Yeah.
And during this time, I started engaging with people, but I was able to listen more to other people and myself. And I had met my wife during these 40 days, and I just repivoted my life. I re-looked at what was important. I was kind of in a floating, what I call it as just a holding pattern of my life. And it allowed me to re-engage with myself and refine my purpose.
Wow, well the book, it's really interesting. I wish we had more time to talk to you. 40 Days Off Facebook. And you can find the book on Amazon and also in a digital version. All right, just real quick, are you back on Facebook?
I use it to solicit. I mean, I feel that unfortunately it's part of a necessary evil, and we gotta learn to use that power of the technology in a healthy way.
In corporate America, you have a business. Ryan, thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
Appreciate
Good
it.
stuff.
Thank you.